Tom Cruise, reprising his role as Ethan Hunt in the 7th installment of the franchise, is back in action and ready to embark on more deadly stunts. The film is directed and written by Christopher McQuarrie, who also wrote the previous 2 films. The cast includes Ving Rhames, Henry Czerny, Simon Pegg, and Rebecca Ferguson, whom all reprise their roles. Mission Impossible 7 is scheduled to be released on May 27, 2022, followed by a streaming release on Paramount Plus in July 2022. This spy thriller is directed by veteran X-Men writer and director Simon Kinberg and stars A-listers Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, Diane Kruger, and Penelope Cruz as a group of international agents who band together to recover a top-secret weapon from a dangerous mercenary. The 355 is scheduled to be released on January 7, 2022. The origin story of a doctor who mistakenly turns himself into a vampire in his quest to cure himself of a rare blood condition is told in Sony's latest entry in its Spider-Verse franchise of connected films. Daniel Espinosa directed the film, which was scripted by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless and stars Jared Leto as Michael Morbius. The film will be released on January 28, 2022. Based on the iconic video game series of the same name, it has been in production for more than a decade, but it wasn't until June of 2019 that we saw any significant progress. This action-packed adventure film stars Tom Holland as Nathan Drake and Mark Wahlberg as his mentor Victor Sullivan. Jurassic World: Dominion is set to pick up where the previous film left off in the Lost Kingdom, with the original cast returning. The premise of the trilogy, which stars Chris Pratt, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, Justice Smith, and Daniela Pineda, is still unknown. Universal Pictures is set to release Jurassic World: Dominion in theaters on June 10, 2022. The long-awaited sequel to Avatar, one of the highest-grossing films of all time, is finally due to be released by veteran director James Cameron. The original cast, which includes Sam Worthington as Jake Sully and Zoe Saldana as Neytiri, will return to resume their storyline on Pandora. They now have a family in Pandora, but an old enemy's reappearance causing them to flee and find a new home. Kate Winslet, Michelle Yeoh, and Edie Falco are among the new cast members. In this sequel to the 1993 Halloween cult classic, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy will reprise their roles as the malevolent Sanderson sisters. This time, 3 young women bring the witches to modern-day Salem by mistake and must figure out how to stop them. The film is being made just for Disney+. The directing pair behind 2019's Ready or Not takes on Ghostface in a new installment of Wes Craven's meta-horror franchise, with veteran stars Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, and David Arquette all expected to return. The story is still unclear at the moment, but expect the film to continue the mythology surrounding Sidney Prescott and her tragic, unlucky history. The film is scheduled to be released on January 14, 2022. Adrian Lyne's thriller, based on Patricia Highsmith's eponymous novel, Strangers on a Train, the talented Mr. Ripley, Carol, stars Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas as a married couple at odds who begin to play deadly mind games with one another, finally leading to murder. This installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the first of 3 in 2022, will directly tie into the events of Marvel's first Disney Plus series, WandaVision. The film, which stars Elizabeth Olsen and Benedict Cumberbatch, will also include the reappearance of characters from the first film. Strange unleashes an unfathomable evil in the film when he faces a friend-turned-enemy. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness will be released on March 25, 2022, as part of the MCU's Phase 4. The highly awaited follow-up to Taika Waititi's Thor: Ragnarok, which recast the character to the delight of critics and viewers alike, is Marvel's second film of 2022. Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman, will return to the franchise, and it has been hinted that she will wield Thor's hammer, Mjolnir, at some point. We also know that Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie will return, and Thor will join forces with the Guardians of the Galaxy to take on Christian Bale's Gore the God Butcher. Chadwick Boseman, the star of Black Panther, died of colon cancer in 2020. This naturally raised concerns about what would happen to the Marvel character, who was supposed to play a significant role in the MCU's future. As it turns out, the sequel would still be released in 2022, but Boseman will not be replaced, and the story will instead center on King T'Challa's sister Shuri, portrayed by Letitia Wright. The Oscar-winning animated feature was a tremendous smash with critics and audiences alike, and Spider-Verse 2 is likely one of the few films that might compete with an MCU film. Shameik Moore will reprise his role as Miles Morales, and we anticipate the story will feature more dimension hopping, but we don't know who else will join him at this time. The film's release date has been pushed back from April 2022 to October 7, 2022 owing to the COVID-19 pandemic. Reese Witherspoon is set to reprise her role as Elle Woods, everyone's favorite ditzy yet brilliant sorority girl turned lawyer. The film has been in development since 2018 and was supposed to be released in 2020, but several delays, notably COVID-19, pushed it back. The threequel, written by Mindy Kaling and Dan Gore, will also bring back the original cast member Jennifer Coolidge and Mark Jamie Suk's feature film debut. John Wick Chapter 4 is apparently being shot concurrently with Chapter 5, so while we don't know where the plot will go in this next chapter, we can be certain it won't be the last of the dog-loving action maestro. Keanu Reeves and Chad Stahelski are slated to return for the fourth installment of the saga. Minions: The Rise of Gru is the follow-up to the spin-off prequel Minions, 2015, and the fifth entry in the Despicable Me franchise overall. The film, directed by Kyle Balda and co-directed by Brad Abelson and Jonathan Del Valle, stars the voices of Pierre Coffin as the Minions and Steve Carell as Gru, as well as Taraji P. Henson and others. Minions: The Rise of Gru is set to be released on July 1, 2022. With Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne, director Matt Reeves, known for films such as Cloverfield and the Planet of the Apes trilogy, takes on what has been characterized as the darkest take on Batman to date. It is envisioned as a reboot of the Batman film franchise. Set in Batman's second year of fighting crime, the film follows him as he uncovers corruption in Gotham City while dealing with the Riddler, a serial killer. The Batman will be released on March 4, 2022, after being postponed twice due to the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 sequels are in the works, as well as a spin-off prequel television series for HBO Max.